Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to SFR for round 6 of the Chinese Grand Prix here, Division 1. My name is Jamie, and alongside me tonight is Owen. How are you doing, babe? Mate, sorry.
Oh my god, Jamie, what's up with you? Yeah, I'm alright. China, what's this round 6? Yeah, looking forward to it. As always, 19 drivers on the grid today. More of a difficult track than normally out than the tracks today. But yeah, no, we'll see what today holds.
18 minutes of qualifying and 28 laps during this Grand Prix 2. The first man on the circuit is Klussler, and he scored his best result back in Division 2 in 5th place. It was a great race for him. He was involved in that top 6 battle, but it broke up due to him and Dan squabbling over 5th and 6th place with Burmeister there too, so that's why those two detached themselves from that train. Yesterday it was a fantastic battle between both McLarens, went hammer and tong, no team orders despite a lot of things on the championship of constructors because they're P2 in Div 2. Adams is here tonight, so he has a bit of knowledge to take onto this track and see where he can progress from there. No MDJ unfortunately for tonight, so he's not here. I don't think he is, and we'll see then how Adams does in this race. And the strategy is mediums to hards or hards to mediums. No softs should be introduced during the race other than the safety car, Owen.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. That's the only time we should see the softs is obviously for a late safety car. One transfer move throughout this week. It happened pretty much overnight, really. Martin has decided to go up to Division 1, so he's no longer a Division 2 driver. He's now a full-time Division 1 driver at the Mercedes, as you can see down in P19, of course. Klussler about to start his lap, first lap of the day.
We were on the final corner, and he almost lost the back end of the car. That was so close there. A bit of an oversteer for Klussler as he tried to wind the throttle on and tried to get a good exit before we reach towards turn 1 then. So taking a bit outside curb into turn 1, let the engine do the braking, just feathering the throttle there, taking a wide angle to cut back through turn 2. Now heading towards turn 3, another tricky corner here, short shifting to reduce the wheel spin. Looks stable to the rear end, thankfully for Klussler's sake, as he almost dropped it in the final corner. Now making our way towards turn 5, not really the best line through there, at 24.2 in the first set. So the best first set to be seen yesterday was about now coming towards turn 6 and turn 7, taking a wide angle through there, not really cutting through, taking as much curb. Well, you don't want to take the curbs there, but you want to get as close to the curb as you possibly can to minimise the time. Now the double left-hander in turn 9 and turn 10 there, taking it really well. Oh, just a bit wide there for Klussler, and it validates.
Yeah, it went a bit too wide there. It is a difficult. Yeah, he got too wide and obviously invalidated, so that's his lap. Unfortunately over for him.
So I think his teammate, or I think a driver out there in the Red Bull is coming in the final lap, then he's somewhere near towards turn 13. I think it's Hurricane. No, I'm getting confused between RB and Red Bull again because it looks so similar on the track, but it's not. But I mean on the map. So apologies if I do make mistakes from time to time. But I'm going to stay on board with Langfeld, or if you want to see somebody.
Oh no, I'm trying to find who's actually going to be the first one to cross the line now. I think it might be Langfeld. I think it is Langfeld, to be fair, because who is that green car ahead of him? I don't know who that is. It might be Utkarsh. No, it's not Utkarsh. It would be Gerdman who's on an out lap. So Langfeld will be the first one to cross the line and set a lap time. Coming down at the main straight now, obviously where all the overtakes will mainly done is obviously down this DRS straight. It's hard to defend, especially when you've got someone very close behind you. So heavy braking zone, and then he now comes up towards the final corner. You can take a lot of curb on that inside there. So Langfeld, first lap of the day with 31.9, which is a decent lap from Langfeld, and then you're Ham right behind, and then Rogue Smithy goes pole with 31.6. So lap times now starting to come in.
I think pole yesterday was a 31.2 by Atlas Copo, and the two Ferrari boys settled into P2 and P3. Berimi now goes towards the top of the pecking order there with a 31.3 then, so we're getting close towards Division 2's time, early stages in this qualifying. I think Zenum in the Aston Martin now, as he was in the Ferrari yesterday, did a 31.4 or 5, so if he continues that, it should be good enough in qualifying. But like I said, every single race for this Norwegian driver here, he does go backwards during a race, and I hope I really hope he can sort his racecraft out because he's got a good potential in SFR this season, but unfortunately just keeps slipping backwards and making those small mistakes which has a big impact on his race. That spin at turn 13 was caused by himself because Klussler took avoiding action. He didn't spin him. He didn't spin Dick Klussler. He just took avoiding action, which I didn't see at the time. Hence why I rewind the stream. Melners has gone up to P4. A decent, solid race in Australia. I think he finished in P5 in the last races. Notice now on his return to SFR with a 31.2. I think he had a holiday in the past few weeks. So nice to see him returning.
Yeah.
And he goes towards the top.
Yeah, so already matched the pole time in Division 2, Nordus has. 31.2 with literally 12 minutes to go. I'm expecting the pole up to be around probably a mid-30, so 30.6, 30.5, something along those lines. So yeah, I don't know who the first person might be going into the 30s. I'm not 100% sure yet. Who's that just went up? I think that was Gurman. Just went up to P2, 31.3.
Yeah, Zena's just crossed the line to go up to P5. Yeah. He's got a few hunches quicker than Lord Danny Boy in P6 in the Alpine, cheering on his team, his driver, which is Alas Copo. He was hoping that'd be an OWR 123 with Emils, Copo, and Xena be up there, but unfortunately they dropped backwards, and Copo didn't even score his first podium of the season either, so it's a shame for him. Here's Martin now, right in the final corner as he goes towards the line. It's going to be a 32.4, puts himself inside the top 10 ahead of Yarham there. But Gurman, I want to mention, welcome to the league, mate. I think he's been here before, quite a long time ago, but he's returned here to SFR as every time we see each other, we usually race on the track, and it has ended in tears before. But now I'm safer in the commentary box. We used to be former teammates in a league a few seasons ago, and it didn't quite go well because he didn't give me his history, but I gave him his history every time, and I was waiting for that as well. But P2 is good for him with a 31.3, and he's run out of fuel as well, so only fueled the car up for one lap, and that one lap counted to P2.
So Laser has just started his lap. He's just finished his sector 1. It is now DF Laser, no longer BFR Laser, but it's still the same Laser. The one and only McLaren here today. Obviously, I think 2 weeks ago, Glock left the league or something, and then a guy called Destroy took the seat, but we haven't seen an appearance from him just yet. Hopefully we'll be seeing an appearance from him soon. So Laser now is now in sector 3. With the way that Laser has been in qualifying recently. Yeah, he is. Yes,
before you continue, I need to go to the toilet. I'm busted because when I tried to go, somebody was occupying the back bathroom. They're free now, so I'm going to go.
Okay, yeah, no worries, mate. So Laser now coming towards that heavy braking zone, second to last corner now, coming up to the final corner now. Like I was saying, Laser, he hasn't been this qualifying hasn't been his strongest point so far this season. I know he is working on that, but then saying that, he's the first person into the 1 minute 30s with a 1 minute 30.8. And one of his rivals, Harry Kane, not the footballer, of course, the esports league SFR driver, OWR, Harry Kane. I don't even think he's British. I think he's not either. He's not British. He's Norwegian. So Harry Kane is literally going down the back straight again. Like I said earlier, only opportunity, well, the biggest opportunity to get overtakes done, obviously down this straight. Then now coming into the heavy braking zone and coming up towards that final corner now. Takes plenty of curb. Harry Kane will set a 1 minute 30.9, so the second person into the 1 minute 30s with a 30.949. As I think Oliver, it might be the next one to cross a timed lap, unless someone like Langfell maybe. I think Langfell is actually about to set another lap, to be fair. So Langfell, he's basically just matched his sector 1 time now, and then he's gonna now be coming up towards the sector 2 line. About a 10th up at the moment, so this rate he wouldn't really improve position. So he needs a decent third sector now coming on that long right-hander, difficult to get traction as well. Try and get some slipstream off the Red Bull. Langfell is now coming down the back straight. It's a very long back straight. Then he comes into the heavy braking zone now. Doesn't take too much curb there. Now coming up towards the final corner now. In fourth gear. Doesn't really hit the curb there, and Langfell will improve to P4 with a 31.3.
I am back, and I've just seen two people in the 30s. That's Laser and Hurricane there. So Laser's on pole, provisional pole for the first time in a long time. Kind of keep it up. I think it was 2 seasons ago when I think he scored his last pole position in SFR. Hurricane goes out wide in the pit exit there, or pitch entry, sorry. But good lap times there for Laser and Hurricane. And the top 3 covered by about, I think it's 4/10 with Nodus in P4. Langfell, who just became a father recently. Congratulations to Langfell. And yeah, we'll see how he does here at SFR tonight in P4. That's his highest qualifying I've seen him so far. So can he keep it up and make his baby proud? And I think Berimi is on a lap time. No, he's not, because he's on 100% ERS then. So maybe just finished it.
Yep. So Oliver has just completed his first lap of the day. He goes up to P11 with a 32.1. He's still got 3 guys. Still hasn't set a lap time, including one of the championship rivals of Hazara, who is about to we're coming through the end of sector 1 now.
So let's see then what Hazara does. There is no Ramavaj here tonight, which is crucial here in the championship because it's so close. Ramavaj still leads with Hazara in P2, but him missing a race, he could lose that championship lead, and he knew it as well because he said it last week in the podium interviews. But Hazara, I think he clipped the curb and turned on a bit too much there, which unsettled the car. So it might have lost a bit of time going towards the end of the middle sector. So 51.0. And remember, look at that, a slide again out of turn 10 as we head through this long right-hander we go. And this is where the tyres will get hot now because of the high-speed corners. You can be very careful when you apply the throttle. Full throttle onto the straight then with the DRS. And like you said earlier, it's going to be the main place for overtaking, reaching speeds about 325 kilometers an hour as we stamp on the brakes then in a few moments' time. On the brakes hard into turn 14, slowing it down towards 80 kilometers an hour, about 60 or 50 miles an hour as we make our way out of the corner, as we make our way now towards the final corner. Harry Adams and I think it was Keith at the time had a fantastic battle yesterday. Here comes Hazara, it's a 30.9, and Owen, despite those small mistakes, he could find himself boosted with the order. And also Owen, Xenum, who set a 31.45 yesterday, sets a 31.1 this time.
Yeah, good lap from Xenon. Obviously, he did a lot of laps yesterday in Division 2 race, so he's obviously got used to the track a bit more, driven the track a lot more now. So now that is an Aston Martin 2-4. Come on, Aston Martin, do me proud. Later coming out on a lap now. But yeah, that's a good lap by Hazara, setting a 30.9 for his first lap. Especially there was a couple of mistakes he had during that lap as well. So he'll be doing one more lap. I'll be coming into the pits. I think he's actually doing another lap, to be fair. Yeah, Hazara is actually going to be doing another lap here. Oh no, he's not. Sorry, because he's about 9/10 down. And so I'm expecting him to come in now, reset, put new tyres on, and go again.
We've got Berimi now making his way towards the pit lane. He was purple. He was a 10th up in the middle sector, but he does a Lewis Hamilton. And he hits the wall, unfortunately. And he just outbroke himself plainly there. So just braking a bit too late, but thankfully does not lose a wheel. And he can return back to the garage without any further consequences. Yes, it may take a bit of time to repair the front wing, but he's still got enough time in his qualifying session to do about 1 lap, it seems. So Hazara dashing back in the pit lane to put on a brand new set of soft compound tyres. Laser is a few hundreds down in the first sector. I think we were about to say someone is slowing down in the first corner. That was a Haas.
Yeah, someone is off at the first corner. I believe that is Yaham. Yeah, it was Yaham who was off at that first turn 1. He's on his outlap though. Yaham didn't have a very good race yesterday. I think he actually retired yesterday, so he'll try and make a better race of it today for him.
Yeah, he has good qualifying sessions, but in the race it goes downhill a bit like Xenum. He wasn't like that before, but maybe he's still adjusting to the F124 game. Is Yaham. I've raced against him years ago as well, when we used to be championship rivals back in PSGL. I think I came on top at that time, but Laser now making his way towards the heavy braking zone. He was derated on the straight and he's using a lot of ERS too down that back straight to get a try, is gain as much time as he can. Let's see, can he extend the ball? Can he put himself further along the field? And let's see what he does now. With the DRS enabled, can he take the ball even further? Yes, he can. It's a 30.7. He was down the first sector, gained a little bit in the middle, but made it all up in the last sector, which it counts the most. But notice now, round in turn 2, as he's came out relatively early in comparison to other people, because they usually go out later.
I was about to say that with Laser, it's a bit odd for him to come out this early on, because he normally comes out when everyone comes out at the same time. So maybe he's, I don't know, maybe he's just trying something different today. Obviously, as we know, he's been trying to, his qualifying has been his weakness this season so far. So I don't know, maybe doing a different strategy compared to everyone else to maybe get an advantage in qualifying. But yeah, we don't know. Obviously now everyone on their out laps begin their final lap of this qualifying session.
Notice is 2/10 up in this middle sector, put him up to P3. It all depends if he can find any time in this last sector. Look at the battery he has. Unlike Laser, stored up a lot of battery, ready to blast it out all on this straight here, but it's not really using the overtake. The overtake is quicker down the straight, but he's still in hot lap mode for some reason, whether he knows that or not. But he has taken a few absences because of holiday, so it might not be quite adjusted to the game yet. As we make our way, he's using overtake out of corners. Hot lap is better out of corners, trust me. As we make our way towards the final corner, the DRS enabled again as he uses all the battery he has left. What's it going to be? A 30.9 goes P4.
So that's now 4 people into the 1 minute 30s. Wow, that's a sight to see. Everyone on an out lap. Something to see there. Obviously, only a couple of people are starting their laps now. I think Yarham's also on a lap. Plusser is just started his laps, let's say. Yarham, he's quite a good lap to be fair. He's currently 8/10 up on his previous time. So yeah, now he's got a load of traffic to try and get through. Hopefully they don't get in his way too much. As I think, who's that? Is that a Red Bull? Yeah, Red Bull. He just got past now, so coming through that heavy braking zone now. Second to last corner. Now coming up towards the final corner. That Alpine getting well out the way of him. Yarham, final corner. Doesn't go too wide on the exit, and he will do a 1 minute 31.3. So that's a very good lap from Yarham. I think that's an improvement from his time yesterday.
Langfell has got, he's just clipped the Red Bull as he rejoins the circuit. That's Hurricane. And Langfell gets a 5 players grid penalty for collision with Hurricane. No lobby restart as he legitimately clipped him as well. So that's a legitimate penalty. But Hurricane, despite that collision, is a few hundreds up in the third sector. I'm going to stay on board with him so I don't confuse myself then. So let's see if Hurricane can snatch back pole away from Laser. He's won 2 races this season, has Hurricane. One back in Bahrain at the beginning of the season. Took a few absences due to holiday. Came back in Australia to win on them hard compound tyres versus Ramavaj medium tyres. Goes a bit wide through turn 9, compromised into 10. Will he lose or will he gain time in this middle sector? We're about to find out now as we come towards the split. He's gained a few hundreds, but has that moment in turn 9 cost him slightly and therefore puts him on the back foot. And now we're making our way towards turn 13. This long right-hander here using overtake to boost himself out of the corners. We've got a few cars ahead of us, but I think every single driver is on their flying lap. Aiden goes up into P11, German goes up into P6. Debut this season for SFR. Here comes Hurricane then, 320 kilometers an hour down the straight before we stamp on the brakes and a heavy braking zone. Very crucial to get this right because he'd easily lose traction. Norris has retired in the pit lane, so P4 is the best for him. And here comes Hurricane coming towards the final corner. Has he got? He's just invalidated on the exit there. What would it have been? 30.8. So even with that lap time, did not improve. He did improve, but not his position, or would have beat Laser's lap time. Here's Hazara, gains a bit of slipstream from the Ferrari driver ahead of us. 329 kilometers an hour down the straight. He outbrakes himself into 14, goes out wide, loses traction, and I think he might cost himself a little bit of time there. 9 kilometer difference on the straight Hazara has, but that's a scruffy last ending, and that's qualifying done and dusted for him.
Yeah, that's was a very scruffy there from Hazara and that final 2 corners. I think because he knew he was up, so he was trying to gain as more time as he could. But I think it's because also he had a bit of dirty air from the car in front of him. I think it was the Ferrari, so that might have cost him a little bit. But yeah, P2 for Hazara. That's still front row start for him though.
Laser on pole for the first time in a while, and his qualifying has gotten better ever since the Australian Grand Prix. Has his new team helped him? And we'll see DF Not quite sure what it stands for, but has it really helped him now in his racecraft to try and put himself further up the field? He could be a really good contender. Look at that, Norwegian from second to sixth there. Hazara in P2, Hurricane P3, Noldus on his return to SFR, P4 ahead of Zena, Magnus in P6, great qualifying from the RB driver. German here in 7th place, replacing Brabbit. Langford starts 13th ahead of Rogue Smithy. Joachim 10th ahead of Berimi. Yet again, another disappointing qualifying session there for Berimi, as after high hopes and expectations from last season. Adams 13th ahead of Martin, Smoke, Oliver, Klusler, Karsh, and Sonic Hawk, who's down in last place.
Now, I hate to say it, just for these drivers, but for some reason, I would love a wet race now. I don't know why. I just would love a wet race. What's it going to be? Is it going to be dry or not? We're waiting. It's going to be dry to begin with, but it is overcast at the moment, so we might see some wet weather coming in during the race, which would be interesting to see. I think Division 3 it was a wet race. Division 2, of course, was dry. So today it might be dry, wet. Obviously, you've got to wait and see, but no, obviously, of course, drivers getting ready. Getting their strategy sorted out for the race.
First race in Shanghai was back in 2004. Rubens Barrichello went on to win that Grand Prix, and Renault clinched the championship back in 2005 for their last championship after Fernando Alonso became a double world champion as two in that year, beating Michael Schumacher. Then 2007 is where Lewis Hamilton dropped it in the gravel and cost himself, I dare say, the championship, which it did. And the Chinese Grand Prix has always produced some good races, except 2019, which was one of the 1000s Grand Prix, and this season, because I don't remember much happening in China this season, other than Fernando Alonso make his way through, because he did a soft strategy in the middle stint, and he was up into P4 at the time too, and that really did cost him. That was Aston Martin's probably last best result this season after their drop in performances, and Alonso went from P4 downwards after pitting due to a second safety car caused by Magnussen and Tsunoda at the time. Then Alonso had to pit again onto a brand new set of mediums, make his way to the field, and he had a very good save out of the final corner. I think he finished in P7 as well. But the Aston Martin car hasn't looked quite competitive as it was early in the season, and we saw Fernando Alonso go all the way around the outside of Perez into turn 2 and took second place away from him. But Perez got him back with the Red Bull car being better. Then Lando Norris got him as well into the hairpin at turn 14. And I think the 2009 Grand Prix was a great race too. It's a wet race with Vettel, Button and Webber going at it, and I think Vettel went on to win his first race in Red Bull back in 2009, and we know what's happened there. 4 Constructors' Championships since then, and 53 wins and a lot of podiums too, which I can't remember how many, but Sebastian Vettel's had a great career. Really hopes he comes back to F1, but it's probably unlikely now with the rumours fading away, with Kimi Antonelli being in the Mercedes. Or probably being in the Mercedes, actually, yeah.
Yeah, as a 17-year-old Kimi Antonelli, I think they're just changing they're doing a rule change or something just to get him into the sport as well. Obviously, it was only allowed 18 or overs that was allowed to race. I think they brought that rule in after, I think it was because of Max Verstappen made his debut in F1 at 16 years old. But yeah, as you were saying, Red Bull, this is where their first race win was as well, obviously, with Sebastian Vettel getting his second race win. Obviously he got his first race win at the 2008 Italian Grand Prix in the Toro Rosso. That was a good strategy from him. I don't remember that much, but yeah, that was definitely a good race for him there. But yeah, it's taken quite a while to get this race going. Comments, what do we have? Joachim says, hopefully I don't lose it. If I do, then
Force
I have
feedback.
to retire in the pits.
He's talking about force feedback, FFB.
Ah, FFP, that's what it stands for. You know more than me, and I'm on wheel.
No, because your host said the exact same thing in Hungary, and I said, what does that mean?
Right. Okay, there we go. Now I know what that means as well. Yeah, really, it's taken a while to get this race underway. Maybe it is a dry, wet race, and people really are struggling to get their strategy sorted out. I don't know. I know obviously they have to wait for the admin to ready up, which obviously, of course, is Laser. So they'll have to wait for Laser to obviously get the race underway in a way. Be getting the race underway, well, the formation lap underway, and then obviously the race underway because he's basically leading. Well, on pole, let's say. That's his first pole as well of this season, so he's definitely made an improvement on his qualifying. I don't think really anyone had a decent qualifying today, obviously, of course, except from Laser, with obviously Hazara making that mistake, as we saw last final 2 corners, and then Harry Kane not having. Well, I think he had decent pace in qualifying, but not as strong as he normally is. And obviously, with them missing on Ramovaj, also helped as well with that. And again, like I said last week before Ramovaj came in, it's a massive opportunity for the top guys to catch up Ramovaj or even overtake him. But here we go. Now we're about to get the formation underway.
And we can see what tyres then people have opted to choose, and it's going to be the normal hards medium. Majority on the hards, 2 on the mediums. And we haven't even read the championship standards out because we had so much to talk about. So Ramovaj leads the championship, but not for longer, as Laser is 8 points behind him. Further behind is Hazara on 77 points, 11 points away from Laser. Harry Kane in 4th after a great win at the Australian Grand Prix, boosted himself up into 4th place ahead of Langfeld. Melnus has gone quiet this year. He's had a few decent results inside the top 10. Currently P5. He finished P5 in Australia last week. And Langfeld 6th place. Spray and Pray in 7th place. I think he almost scored a podium back at the Hungarian Grand Prix, but picked himself up a 3-second time penalty and dropped him out. And also in Saudi Arabia when he tapped the wall. Spray and Pray unfortunately is not here tonight. Smoke is 8th in the championship with 1 podium to his name. Remember that back at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix where Glock and Hazara picked up a 3-second time penalty. He didn't. Stayed in the DRS train and scored a podium that way. But bury me, it's been a very disappointing season so far. His highest result was at Australia. Remember, he got taken out by Laser in the first lap of the race when the lights immediately went out. He did finish in 4th place, so a decent result there, but he's gone unknown this season, it must be said, although he's had 2 did not starts because he went on holiday and didn't finish inside the top 10 either at the Belgian Grand Prix. He had 2 wins last season and he was 3rd or 2nd in the championship. I can't exactly remember where he was. Rogue Smithy in 11th place, who had a really strong race in Australia until that last safety car came out and ruined his strategy, because he was the one on the better tyres, looked on course to take on Hazara and Harry Kane, because he was on the hard compound tyres. An early safety car came out in the first stint, so the guys who on the hard compound tyres at the start went on the mediums and had a long way to go, whereas Rogue Smithy went from mediums to hards. The safety car came at the right time for the hards to go towards the end, and being the durable tyre would have the best grip towards the end too, and he was on course to catch them down, but unfortunately did not rise in Australia. All 19 drivers then making their way towards the grid, and once again we get a terrible camera angle view. I'm not quite sure why it does this game, because last game I don't remember having any problems about camera angles.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a weird one in this year's game. I don't really know why you have this spectator mode, especially for the start of the race, but yeah.
Yeah, there are the lights. There are 3, 4, 5 lights. Laser on pole. Lando Norris was in. Pushed off. There's a few drive-through penalties for 3 drivers. Martin has jumped the start. Away we go then. And Hazara gets absolutely swamped. Through goes Nordus. Takes on 2 of them. He's ahead of Harry Kane. He's ahead of Hazara now. He puts himself up into 2nd place there. Laser is on challenge there. Gerben and Zedam swapping places for P5 and P6 with the Haas and the RB in the background also scrapping away. And Martin there picking up that drive-through penalty along with 2 other drivers. Gerben had a slap over the RB has spun. That's Modus, who was lost out of turn 4. As we make our way now towards turn 6, Gerben's under massive pressure. Drew goes down the inside. That's contact. Norris and Hazara take each other off the track and they're dropping like a stone. And where is Hazara? He's rejoining P4. Norris further back in P4. And Gerben now is fighting with Hazara for P3 as we go side by side now. Into turn 7 we go. A hectic first lap between those two. And Gerben is still fighting there, trying to go around the outside of Hazara. Can he make it stick? This is not a place you want to fight, because one of you is going to go off the track like Gerben has just done. And now they remain wheel to wheel once again, battling throughout the whole middle sector. And Hazara wins that battle there. But Gerben with the straight line speed and the battery, can he get him down into turn 14? Joham's lost a few places there, and he's spun again, I think.
Yeah, he's spun on that right-hander. That's not a strong corner for him at all. So he can't drop down to P9 now.
German there all over the back of Hazara, but he's not using the battery, then trying to play the long game. He knows how to play the long game because he's been in loads of league races in the past years. So the scrap is over for those two for the time being. Lord Danny Boy, look up the inside of Johan, taking advantage of him. There's a bit of body work flying off there. I'm not quite sure who that was. I think it could be an RB. It was like Clustler's end plate missing. I think it is not him, so I don't know who it was at the time there, but the Ferrari dives off into the pit lane, and that is Smoke to serve his drive-through penalty. 3 people picked up a penalty like it was back, who was it, at the Bahrain Grand Prix when they had their drive-through penalties. 3 of them picked up on that day, and a virtual safety car has been deployed because I think Smithy has just crashed at the pit lane entry, I believe it is. Has he lost his wing there? Yes, he has. Lost his whole wing.
Yeah, so Smithy, the next victim of doing a Lewis Hamilton, and he's already retired. Come on, man. It's only the start of the race. All right, then. Okay, so that's Smithy already out of the race. He's decided to call it quits this early on already. Yeah, okay. Interesting there from Smithy. But good news for Smoke and Martin. Obviously, they came in to serve their drive-through. Obviously, the VSC came out when they were serving that, so they haven't lost a lot. Well, they've lost time, but not as much as they normally would. The only person now to serve a drive-through is Smoke's teammate, of course, Oliver, also picking a drive-through penalty up as well. So both Ferraris picked up a drive-through, and obviously Mercedes and Martin did as well.
And Nolde down at turn 6 might be frustrated because Hazara stayed with the inside, missed the breaking point, which took them both off the track. And Nolde's there rejoined down into P5. Should have been in P3, but Hazara's optimistic move pushed him down the order. He's still in P3, so I thought they lost a lot of positions, but actually they stay where they are. And Harry Kane's getting so close to the back of Laser's gearbox. Those two used to be teammates, I think, back at McLaren a few seasons ago. Those two were together, but Adams has picked himself up. Nolde to drop down the order. What's happened to Nolde there? He's dropping down the order in P10. He's off the track. Did he get pushed off by somebody? What a dismal race already there for Nolde there, getting pushed off at turn 6. And now with this VSC problem towards the end, Destroyer's joined and left and rejoined. That's probably him you're talking about earlier on.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was Laser's teammate who's, well, he's too late to get in the race already. So yeah, he's completely missed out the point to race today. So obviously, I hope to see Destroy make his debut next week. Obviously, he's a full-time driver in. Tried to have a look down the inside of Hazara, couldn't really make a move stick. The Hazara makes a little bit of a mistake. German will try and take an advantage of that, but again, he can't really take an advantage of that because Hazara...
Oh, there's contact there with Nordis and Sonic Hawk. I think Nordis just hit the back of Krusler. He's lost his own place, so what a disastrous race for Nordis on his debut back after missing the few first races of the season due to his holidays. So a great qualifying, but ever since lap 1 has completely gone downhill. Somebody in the background went off with him. That was a Haas or Sonic Hawk there too, but I don't think he's got any airplane damage. So Nordis there, a trip to the pits may be necessary for him. But yeah, I saw Hazara and German fighting through turn 1 and turn 2. They're going side by side again, and Hazara keeps outbraking himself into turn 6 with the rear lock of the brakes, so he might have to want to adjust his brake bias there because he's probably got to turn up too high for the front end. But here comes German there with the DRS enabled, and does he go for it? He stays behind Hazara this time, so he doesn't really want to go for it because he knows that the more these two fight, the better chance Harry Kane and Laser pulls away. In the first stint, you want to be sticking in that DRS train there before we go to the second stint. Langfell's ahead of Klustler as Harry Kane sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix, fighting along with Laser, and one of the RBs has also got damage there. Oh, it's the Alpine, sorry, on Langfell, who goes off the track, and he's picked himself up a bit of end plate damage too. Zenit is ahead of Nolus, who returns in the pit lane, and yeah, his race there unfortunately has gone downhill, and he'll be rejoining in last place. Yeah,
that's unfortunate there for Nolus, but he does obviously get a new front wing, new tyre strategy. For mediums, I don't expect to get to the end just yet, but with really good compared to the hard tyres yesterday. So mediums can go long, but not obviously as long as the hard tyres. I think hard tyres around here can pretty much do the whole race.
And Laser there keeping Harry Kane at bay. The gap is about a second. It keeps dipping in and out of DRS there. So both having their strengths and weaknesses as Harry Kane is desperately trying to catch up. And Hazara and Germa, despite their battling into turn 1 and turn 2 and on the first lap, they haven't lost too much time, and they're getting so close to DRS there, trying to rejoin in this battle for first and second in the top 4, close together with Berimi, who's pushed further backwards. But Berimi, considering his qualifying, is up into P5 after starting in P10. So great start there for Berimi. Great start from Kosh in P7. Started 18th. Is up into 7th after that first lap carnage. Great driving indeed from the Sauber. He retired at the Australia Grand Prix, but here he is in China as Joachim's just overtaken him, I think, down to turn 14, which he has. But the Sauber, they lose traction out of turn 14, but Joachim just stays ahead. Further in the background, that looks like Langfeld's under pressure from the RB and has to give the place there because he is losing downforce, of course. He's decided to stay out there because he doesn't want to lose too much time pitting in the early stages with the front wing, with the broken front wing. But Hurricane there getting so close towards Laser. Hazara has actually dropped Gurman now from his DRS. So despite the battling earlier in this race, he's broken that DRS. Has he finally got himself into a rhythm? You can see that he's locking the rear run up in turn 6 again. So that looks like the heavy braking zone is really costing him some time.
Yeah, it seems like it. Top 3 again. Laser, Harry Kane, Hazara, all 3 of them in early championship fight contenders. I'm sure every single race these 3 are always together. As long as they haven't made any mistakes, these 3 are always together. So Hazara's kind of closed in as well. He's under a second with these 2 as well now. So he'll get DRS on these 2 coming down this back straight. But Laser is keeping a good gap. It might be under a second, but he's keeping a good gap to where Harry Kane doesn't really have a chance to overtake him going down to that heavy braking zone of, I don't know what turn this is. You probably know Jamie, but I don't. But yeah, it gives a Laser to have a good gap when it comes down towards that back straight. So I think his sector 2 is definitely stronger than the rest. So he might be good. That might be because he's running more downforce. Who knows? But yeah, Laser doing well so far, keeping that P1 position.
Hazara in the DRS range of Harry Kane and Laser. Yes, I do know that corner. That's turn 14, and yeah, I know every single corner, unfortunately, because I am like that. I like to do a lot of research before the race starts. And Solid Hawk now fighting with Zenith for P12 and P13, both in Division 2, and one of them's had a win this season, which is Solid Hawk back at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Zenith trying to find some form this season after really struggling in the races. His qualifying has improved dramatically, but in terms of racing, that's where is his kryptonite, and he has to focus on that to see why he keeps on making the mistakes. Is it picking up the throttle too early? Is it pressure? Is the car set up for the race? Maybe he's more preferred in qualifying, but we'll see how he progresses. He's still got plenty of races left to go to see if he can try and find something in the Aston Martin to put himself further up the field in Division 2. And Sonic Hawk has had an up and down season 2 after a great win at the Hungarian Grand Prix. His results hasn't really been looking too good for him in the past few races as well. So he's been on a downer recently, along with his teammate Martin, because we said both RBs are looking really strong in Division 2. But recently their form has been off. The top 3 then are close together, and they are dropping Gurman now. The gap is 2.1. So Gurman is not able to get in the DRS range of Hazara. He was 1.1 seconds behind on that back straight, but here he's losing a lot of time as Langfeld now has re-overtaken Klusler. He's put himself back into P10. He is sticking with it with a broken end plate, but not ideal, of course, because that middle sector there, full of high-speed corners, you're understeering all the way through, and it's ruining your tyres as well, with the tyre temperatures being really hot in that particular part of the section, so not doing any favours. But the battle for the top 3 looking really spicy. Hazara now has probably got himself into a comfortable range, and now could try and set himself up for Harry Kane. Let's see what happens down here. It's turn 6, another great place to overtake, of course, if you're fully alongside going into turn 6. We saw Daniel Ricciardo take the lead of Valtteri Bottas back in 2018 to win the Chinese Grand Prix. What a race that was as well.
Zenon has unfortunately spun. I think that is out of turn 4. So Zenon again, like you said, his race he's not having a great race once again down in P13. But yeah, like I said, Zenon is a Division 2 driver. He is reserving for today's race. But yeah, little mistake from Zenon. He's lost he lost the time to Sonic Hawk. I think he was right behind of Sonic Hawk, but obviously he hasn't lost.
Something happened as well down at turn 6 in turn 7. Hazara now is about to overtake Hurricane. Here we are, Hurricane there going up the inside of the Laser. He turned the defense into an overtake
forced,
as we go into turn 14. He was forced to go for the overtake because he didn't want to be second, stuck behind Hazara. Laser just stays in front there, so great reaction there. But Hurricane taking too much curb on the inside, almost lost the back of the car. And here we are, Laser might get swamped by both of them. They're going 3 abreast on the straight. Who will get to turn 1 first? Hazara has the outside line. He swoops around the outside. He takes the lead of the race, but does he? Because Hurricane is coming back down the inside. It's turn 2 we go, and let's see who has better traction out of turn 2, heading into 3 and 4. And Hazara takes the lead of the race with Laser there looking to try and fight back, but he can't quite do it. What a great overtake from Hazara. 2 into 1 before turn 1 is incredible.
Yeah, that's a great move by Hazara. As Hazara now goes wide at turn 6, but it won't make much of a difference. But yeah, Hazara, he made Hurricane to basically force the overtake on Laser down to turn 14. I think that was key for him for the overtake down to obviously turn 1. But yeah, that was a great manoeuvre from Hazara from all those 2 corners there to make that move. Done obviously now off these 2, which of course would not be easy. Of course, Hurricane locks up slightly going into round turn 15 now. Now the DRS and slipstream overtake mode and all that will now be coming into play. Laser might do the same tactic as Hazara did to Hurricane earlier, but we're about to see right now.
And here we are then down this back straight. Funnily enough, Hurricane is still in P2, so he's still there, but there's a different leader in front of him, which is Hazara there. So, Hazara there, almost dropping it at turn 14. You can really see him struggling with the rear brakes. I think it's time for him to adjust his brake bias, maybe to like 56 or 7, because he is really playing with the car there on the limit. And here comes Hurricane, gets a decent final corner with the overtake available for him. With the battery, he blasts past Hazara once again, and now he takes the lead of the race ahead of Hazara. But Hazara is so lucky there, because every time we skid through the corner, he hasn't fully spun, and any more of those he can find himself in dangerous spinning, so you can be very careful not to lose on the brakes. It's so difficult with the engine braking system you have in this game, and also with the ABS too. He's got to be very careful how he edges the corner, and Lays now looking all at the back of the Norwegian driver, seeing Aston Martin struggle in the heavy braking zones here. It's turn 6, it's another place where Hazara tends to lose the car. But yeah, he's going to be very careful now, Hazara, because any more of that, and look at this then, I thought he was going to go for a move on the inside of turn 7, but as you can see, they're both taking different lines through the corners, and Hazara has to stay behind. But this is an incredible battle between the top 3. I really hope these 3 scrap more, so the likes of German can get into play as well, because German is 2 seconds behind. You can't really do anything about it, because the guy's ahead of DRS, and therefore you lose even more time.
Yeah, out of all these 3, Hazara is definitely being the feisty. He's losing traction again out of turn 15, which will not give him a good run down this back straight. But out of all these 3, Hazara has definitely been the more feisty out of them all. I think it was just Hurricane and Laser. Hurricane was happy to stay behind Laser for pretty much the whole race until probably the final lap. But here comes Hazara now, down towards turn 14. Outbreaks Hurricane, and yeah, good move there from Hazara. Now back up to P1. But like I was saying, I think before Hazara came into this battle, Hurricane and Laser was just happy with where they were, to be fair. But obviously because Hazara is a bit more feisty than these 2, Hurricane and Laser both had to become, well, especially Hurricane has had to become more feisty than he was obviously with Laser. So yeah, now Hazara now takes the lead of the race. I don't think that'll be the first swap of the lead, or the last swap of this lead either.
The 10th and 11th are still good at it. Langfell and Klusler there, scrapping over for P10, and looks like Langfell's just got ahead of the medium runner. The medium runners are going to start to struggle in this race. There's only 2 of them so far. They started on the same tyre compound as they're currently on right now, which is Klusler and Sonic Cord. Nordus is hoping, wishing, praying for a safety car to bring back his race, because he made contact with somebody, lost his end plate, and had to pit. Ever since that one collision, things went downhill, and he's never been able to move on from there. So a safety car really could help him to bring him back into this race, and we'll see if there is one. Lap 10 out of 28. There's 18 laps left to go during this Grand Prix. Hazara taking a very wide angle through there. I've noticed the downforce levels too between these guys, because Hazara's reaching speeds about 330 qualifying, Hurricane 322. And here comes Hurricane then with the DRS enabled, and he goes to the right hand side and retakes P1 again. constantly swapping places like they did back in the Australian Grand Prix when they were first and second, but Harry Kane goes a bit deep into the breaker zone. Will that allow Hazard to go side by side? No, it doesn't, because he get a poor exit himself. We're losing traction there, so we make our way now towards the final corner, and Hazard, another step of oversteer, a late upshift, and now Laser is all over the back of the Aston Martin. Which way will he go? It's the right hand side, but not enough to try and put himself into the inside line of turn 1.
Yeah, good defending there from Laser. Obviously made a little mistake out of the final corner, which obviously gave Laser the opportunity, but Hazard defends it well, using a bit of ERS as well to defend the move as well. But yeah, again, this battle will not end, of course.
Oh, it'll go on throughout the whole of this race there between these three. These three, the heavy contenders here in SFR. I can't wait to see how this race pans out, because these three have been in championship place before in terms of the season before and last season as well, where Laser dropped off in the second half of the season, but Hazard and Harry Kane were going hammer and tong. Bearing in mind Hazard was a reserve driver and Harry Kane was defending from MDJ in the championship. The championship kept swinging back and forth between Harry Kane and MDJ, but ultimately in the end Harry Kane became the world champion of SFR, and Hazard there going deep once again. Laser's looking for a way through if he can, taking any opportunity that is given to him. He's closer now towards Hazard, but we know that the Aston Martin will have the DRS down the straight there, so let's see what's happening going down into turn 14. DRS overtakes, slipstream is all available. Here comes Laser, then use the battery. Now he draws along Hazard. Hazard takes the lead of the race. Laser also takes second place away as Harry Kane gets swamped like Laser was a few laps ago. As Harry Kane's got to back up the inside, it's turn 14. He wants to reclaim P2, but they both get a bad exit, and if they don't end this fight right now, Hazard could pull away. The side by side, Harry Kane might go off the track, and yes, he is. Hazard is pulling away because these two are scrapping, and now he's broken that 1 second gap of DRS. So those two there probably should have played it tactically, because they lost the DRS towards Hazard, or have they? Can they get it back?
But Harry Kane goes wide. Harry Kane goes wide, gives Laser the opportunity now to go back down the inside, but again, more battling, and it's going to cost them more time. It's now 1.2 the gap, nearly 1.3. Laser tried to get the move around the inside, obviously with Harry Kane going now. The gap's now 1.3. Hazard with this could save a bit of ERS, with obviously with these two
Owen,
fighting.
have you noticed something, mate? Have you noticed something?
What's that?
Look at your screen, look very closely. Can you not see it?
Oh, yeah, sorry, we have rain. It has just started to rain, as I said as well, as a dry to wet race, and it does seem like that. I think that now explains why pretty much the whole field was on the hard tyres. But yeah, now rain has now come in, which is now going to be a little bit tasty, let's say, for the second half of this race.
And here comes Laser then with the DRS, with the overspeed. No DRS for Harry Kane. And now Laser puts himself back into P2. But the moment these two lost the DRS was the moment where, Hazard almost dropped out of turn 14 again. But yeah, the moment those two lost the DRS is this corner the lap before, because Harry Kane decided to go back up the inside. Neither driver was willing to give up track position, Hazard to pull away. And let's see then if changes everything in this Grand Prix. The rain certainly changes everything. And I was commentating with Energy Dan last season, and Harry Kane won the Chinese Grand Prix by about 5/10, and he was on old intermediate tyres, and he took those inters a very long way during the Grand Prix. MDJ pitted for new inters. He was hunting down Harry Kane lap by lap, taking seconds out of him literally, and he almost won the race, but it's a lap too late, and Harry Kane just held on to win. But here we've got rain on the horizon, and it could spice things up in the next few laps. It changed things in Hungary, but we know a safety car came out too, which also added to it another sting in the element there for some drivers.
Yeah, so the battle for P7 is still a bit feisty as well. We've got Utkar, Malnes and Yarham all in this battle, but Yarham has just literally made a mistake out of turn 6. Did a me. So now he's lost ground to Malnes and Utkar. She's only just over a second. He might be able to close that back in again, but these three have also been fighting pretty much all race. And then you got a little battle down in P12 between Adams and Zenon. Zenon made a little mistake earlier on at turn number 3. So Zenon gonna try and get past Adams as well, but I think Harry Kane is. Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought Harry Kane was about to go for a move down at turn 14. but obviously he didn't. 1.5 is now the gap between Laser and Hazara. Like you said, they've lost time for battling each other. I think Harry Kane is trying to get well, he gained a lot. I don't know if he was going to go for an overtake, but he gained quite a lot there on Laser down to turn 1.
Yeah, I think these two should stop battling or swap DRS, trade DRS with each other, as Joachim is the first driver to pick up a 3-second time penalty. 3 people picked up a drive penalty in the Grand Prix. It was Martin was one of them. He set off the chain effect because when somebody in front of you jumps the start, you tend to do the same thing, as it's a normal reaction there, because if you see somebody go, you go.
Yeah, it happened. I think it happened last week in Division 2. I think there was 5 drivers that picked up a drive-through last week. Was it last week? I can't remember. But yeah, 5 drivers picked up a drive-through. Like I said, because of that effect that you have, as soon as you see someone go, you're going to go as well. It's as simple as that. I've done it. Like I said, everyone's done it before. It's very frustrating. You kind of blame the person who sets it off, but you also blame yourself for looking at him and not looking at the lights. It's an annoying thing to do.
I think I managed to stop myself getting a draft penalty one time, as here comes Harry Kane now on the back of Laser, but he doesn't go for it wisely, because when you want to trade DRS, we almost missed the back of him. When you want to trade DRS, you want to do it halfway down the straight, not into a braking zone, because obviously you go side by side into a braking zone and you lose time towards the guy in front of you as well. So you want to swap in the middle of the straight. You can see that Laser, you can see the difference in downforce levels, because Laser's gaining in the middle sector for the high speed corner. So Zara is pulling away on the straight. So that's definitely the downforce levels those two have on the car, which equalizes it out a bit. But the gap is down to 1.3, but sometimes we'll go back up to 1.7 as we've seen before. It fluctuates all the time. Monas, however, made a big mistake out of turn 6. He's lost himself a few positions there. That's what caused the yellow flag. Notice is up into P14 ahead of Oliver, and let's see how that battle went down his turn 14. Looks like he just plainly went past him and put himself up to 14th place there, hoping that a safety car comes out. Oliver has pitted, but the rain, how long will it impact the circuit? It is going to be greasy, but not wet enough for the Inters.
If he's going down into it now, I still think it's a little bit too early. It is definitely getting wetter and wetter. It feels a bit like back in Hungary, when it was raining for about 10 laps, but never actually got wet until at the very end of the race. So Oliver, first person onto the intermediate tyres. Someone's made a mistake out of the exit of turn 6. I think that was Yarham that made a mistake. His teammate Sonic Hawk has just gone past him. I think it was Yarham that made another mistake, unfortunately, there for him.
Yeah, turn 6 once again for Joachim, and that's where Yuki Tsunoda and Kevin Magnussen caused a crash. But there's Aston Martin down there who spun, and that's him again out of, I think it was turn number 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's where Heikki Kovalainen crashed, but it wasn't. It was Malaysia, because I remember somebody crashing there, but I got confused between Malaysia and China. Similar corner, of course, through turn 6 and turn 7, the high-speed corners, but the wrong track. But German now has pitted, and this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, so I'm about to say, Oliver is gaining, not a lot, but he's gaining time on Clusser. The gap was about 16.6, but he's obviously gone back to 16.4. It was about 16.3 like it is right now. Now it's down 16.2. I think it is time for intermediates. I think the switch over point between those drivers and the wets is now literally there now. So yeah, it's probably around the right time to pit for the intermediate tyres now.
So German has slotted into P8, just joined ahead of Melners, the man who spun a lap ago, and right behind Langfeld, who's sustained an end-plate damage, but still sticking with it is Langfeld. It must be really painful in the high-speed corners when you try to turn the car, but it has no feel for him, unfortunately. But he's done a good job so far, still in the top 10, still in 7th place there. And let's see then if things change on this lap. Will the other people go to the intermediates? Is it just a little bit too early? Is the track not wet enough? And if it does rain even harder toward the Inters, it could really hurt Azar, because he's running a high downforce setup. What's going on?
No, sorry. I think Smokes has just made a mistake. He's gone on to new medium tyres. I think that's another bad strategy by Ferrari. Oh no, that's not good there for Smoke. Ferrari made an error for Smoke, didn't get the intermediates ready by the looks of it, and he's put them back out on dry tyres.
And here comes German now, flying past the LP driver. DRS, I think, is still in the neighbourhood, which it is. So still indicates that it's still dry enough to use that rear wing opening. But these guys have gone for one more lap then. So I think it's still a bit early, because if you pit too early the inters, it will shred your tyres and you won't have to grip towards the end. Some people have gone for inters quite early, such as German, the main contender in P4, as Laser gets a slide. They still can't catch Azara. So yeah, the main moment in this battle in the race.
Oh. Yeah, I was about to say, German, I think he's made the right call here. He's not losing too much time to his teammate. It's now about 2.8, but if you remember, German was right behind, well, not right behind, but about 2 seconds off from the top 3. So if German has got this right, German could take the lead here of this race, and if obviously he can hold on, potentially win this race. So this might be a great strategy here from German, obviously, if he can keep this up.
But once those guys do pit for the intermediates, our leaders, German's tyres will be quite old, and therefore the newer inters for them will be better. Consider German's driven a few laps on the dry part where it's going to be quite difficult for the tyres towards the end. It's taken a lot of life out of him so far. He's definitely gaining a rate of knots. The gap is down to 27.5 is German. But I still personally think, as Laser and Harry Kane swap places again, and Harry Kane's up into P2, the legend is that Bear Me has never seen bare roads. He lives so far from the mountains where I need to go read that comment because I can't really quite fully see it. But yeah, he talks about Zeno and he talks about he talks about Bear Me too. Where is Bear Me? Coming down in P. Nothing's happened so far for him, and he started down in 10th place, made his way up to 4th place. He finished 4th at the Australian Grand Prix, but we know that German is on the intermediate tyres, of course, so he might lose it. Laser is just took the back of Harry Kane. They're both losing time again, and will these two look back and think, why did we fight so hard?
Yeah,
who's coming?
German's, Upkarsh has come in. You saw that German was literally gaining 2 seconds on him that lap, so Upkarsh thinks, yeah, it's definitely time for intermediate tyres. Gap is now down to 26.7 between German and the leader, 26.5 now. It's going to be close when the top 3 decide to pit.
Those two keep losing time towards Hazara. The gap is 2.1 now, so that battle they had a few laps ago changed. Oh, somebody's gone for a spin. Zenom's retired on the track. Is that a safety car? It's a VSC that's been deployed, so no full safety car, luckily for some drivers.
Yeah, everyone's going to come in now for
No, I think the safety car has came out. I can see a yellow car on the track. Yeah, the safety car has came out, I think. Let's go aboard with the LP. Yeah, the Mercedes safety car is out. Look at Lagfall, you can see the safety car right there.
It still says virtual safety car. Ooh. We haven't got a glitch here.
Owen, this is a great time for me to go to the toilet again.
Yeah, go for it. So Oliver, he's gone on to the medium tyres again, so he's gone on to the intermediate. Wait, what? No, he's gone to medium tyres for some reason, I don't know why. But yeah, it still says virtual safety car on our screens, but the safety car is actually out. Obviously now everyone comes in to fit the intermediate tyres. German will not be happy with this, because he could potentially have taken the lead. Now he's potentially going to lose position. Lose at P4, just like originally where he was. What's going on? Hazara and Harry Kane are both gone to medium tyres. Okay. Bury me. Medium tyres. Maybe it's going to stop raining soon then, if they've gone on to dry tyres. Surely. They've gone on to brand new medium compound tyres. What's Lord Danny Boy? Lord Danny Boy's on intermediate tyres. German's come back in. What's he going on to? He's going on to new intermediate tyres. Adams, he's come in. What is he going to go on to? Nordus as well, also come in. This is very interesting. So Adams, intermediates. Nordus, intermediates. Klusser decided to stay out on the hard tyres. Malnus, obviously on those medium tyres at the moment. Martin is also coming in. See what tyre he goes on to.
Wow, Owen, I just came back.
Intermediate tyres.
I just came back in the top 2. I stayed out.
They haven't stayed out. They've pitted, but they've gone on to new medium tyres.
But look at the rain though, it's definitely impacted the circuit.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. They obviously know something we don't. So unless it's expected to stop raining soon as well, guessing so. That's the only reason being if they've gone on to medium tyres, or they just don't think that it's going to get wet enough for the intermediate tyres. But as we saw, Gernman was gaining time on everyone. Obviously, he gained 2 seconds on his teammate before his teammate obviously came in. But yeah, interesting calls by some of these guys. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people still on dry tyres.
Wow. Mixture of tyre compounds, not the hards or mediums as you usually see. It's the mediums versus inters. I think we saw this in another season. I remember saying that as well. There was a different league, so I get confused with a different league. That did happen in another league. It turned out the inters were the best towards lap 28 because there was a last lap overtake of somebody on the medium compound tyres. So the rain is taking its time to settle in on the track. Who has got the best strategy call? Is it the medium runners or is it the new inter runners? We're about to find out a few moments lap's time because Gurman was gaining, like you said, he was definitely gaining by the gap to leader, but it still looks like it's dry out there, just a bit greasy.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as soon as the safety car comes back in. It's still saying virtual safety car for me. I think it's saying for you as well, Jamie. Yeah, it is. So a little bit of a weird glitch. I don't think I don't think it fully glitched out the lobby. I think it's just for spectators that it's just messed up a little bit. But
don't worry, it has happened before because when it says VSC, a safety car does come out.
Oh right, okay. There we go then. Yeah, Laser so far doing well. Another podium for him potentially. Like I said last week and the week before, every single race he has finished on the podium. Obviously he didn't finish in Saudi Arabia. He decided to go into the barrier of the inside barrier. That's when obviously we were running simulation damage as well. But yeah, Laser on course for another podium finish.
Could this be another victory? Could it be his second win of the season there for Laser in P3? Has he chosen the right strategy? Or is the top two going to pull away on those medium compound tyres? How hard or little would the rain impact the circuit? That's the biggest question everybody wants to know. What's the crossover point? Is it the inters or is it the medium compound tyres? If it's the inters, the top two have made a big mistake, same with Berimi. Is he going to get hot? Is he going to get wetter later in this race? I'm not quite sure. There's so many questions to be answered. There's 8 laps left to go in this race. And also, Nordis is up into P12, can also make a recovery drive in the Mercedes then. So this could be a very fascinating race towards the end, and this has helped the likes of Hurricane and later to be back in the DRS range of Hazara. Hazara's lead has been wiped out, unfortunately for him, so he's got to do it all over again, but we could see something different in this race as well.
Yeah, definitely, like you said a couple of minutes ago, safety car is in his lap. That's a very late call there from the safety car. Obviously Oliver and Martin caught up just in time before the safety car comes in, so now here we go then, hand rubbing time. Yeah, see what happens.
So Hazara will become the effective safety car. He can decide when to pull the trigger, and Hurricane has to have his wits about it to respond immediately to see when Hazara will go. Right now, the final corner, and let's see then, are the medium compound tyres good enough to survive towards the end? We're about to find out now as we make our way down this straight, headed down to turn 1. How good is the grip levels? Here comes Gurman on Lord Danny Boy all the way around the outside. Does he have the grip? Does he have the confidence? There's Berimi on the medium compound tyres. He's taking advantage of Laser. The mediums look like the better tyres so far. Laser is back down the inside. Can he overtake Berimi? I think he can. He stays ahead up to P3 it goes. So I thought the mediums were the better tyre, but Berimi got dropped into P4 again. And here comes Gurman around the outside. He almost makes contact there with Laser at the back of him, and he stays on the track. Thankfully, stays within the track limits as well, and also keeps his front wing intact. He's up to P4, so I'm not quite sure what the best tyre is, you know.
Gurman loses the back end. He touched the curb. That's a deadly curb to touch. It did. The car does not like touching that curb. And then Berimi got close to Laser, which then obviously now Gurman's have re-overtaken him. I don't know if it's because Laser's struggling or not, because Laser did struggle down at turn 1. That's why Berimi nearly got the overtake done on Laser. We got who's that? Joachim has lost the car that at the back of the grid. that I think it's just Laser just struggling with the compound tyres, because German seems like he's pretty strong on the intermediate times. Laser just don't have the confidence yet, let's say. So obviously German has been on these intermediate tyres for a couple of laps now.
He's pitted onto a brand new set of Inters too while the safety car came out, so no longer on them old intermediate compound tyres. He looks like he's better out of the two runners on the intermediates there, as there's a midfield scrap going on between Langfeld, Noldus and Melners. DRS has been enabled still, so they're still confident that the DRS is enabled, still confident it's dry enough there to use. We're not allowed to use it in the wet conditions because it is very dangerous indeed. It can cause a lot of accidents itself as we make our way down towards turn 1 and turn 2. So it looks like he's getting heavier now, but the dry compound tyres still look like a better tyre to be on, but what will happen in a few laps' time?
Yeah, it's definitely a very interesting thing that happened in Hungary as well, a very similar incident. And who's that? That's Sonic Hawk falling down the order. I think he's lost it. Yes, he's completely lost his front wing down the except turn 4. I don't think there is going to be a safety car though, so that's Sonic Hawk's race pretty much over. Langfeld also down the order as well, falling down the order on those medium compound tyres. Klusser doing well at the moment in P8, as Urkosh has done pretty much the same as his teammate German, touching that inside curb, loses the car. The car does not like touching the inside curb or turn 7.
German looks like he's got a lot of pace, but he just can't use it because he's stuck behind Laser. Laser's losing time towards the top 2. The top 2 are left alone to scrap it out. Hurricane's got 2 wins under his belt. Hazara has only got 1. So here we are then with the DRS enabled between Hurricane versus Hazara. We've seen plenty of battles between those two. Here comes German with the DRS wide open on the Sauber. There's a RB in the background, losing the car. He's lost a few places there as we go down towards turn 14. Here comes Barry now up the inside into 14, also takes the place away from Laser. Is he on course for a podium? Because he's still on them dry compound tyres. That looks like he's a better tyre so far in this race, judging by the top 2's performances. And more changes there with Melnus and Oliver scrapping away in the midfield for P11 and P12. The side by side, but Oliver has the race in line, therefore swooping around the outside and take away 11th place there. I haven't really mentioned him much during this race, but the top 2 now are so close together with Barry all over the back of the Sauber. Could it be a double Red Bull podium? Because Barry started down in 10th place. All of a sudden, he's back in this race. Looks like he's got some decent pace on his hands and on course to score his first podium this season after a dreadful start. Yeah,
definitely. Sonic Hawk's retired in the pit lane, so that's his race done and dusted for today. But German, he definitely seems like the fastest man on track at the moment. Obviously, he's on the intermediate tyres as well. So the cut-over point between the medium and the intermediates is definitely on the limit between the two tyres. I think they're pretty much on the same pace. German not really gaining on the top 2. Beremy is keeping with it. Laser also nearly there as well. And then you've got Lord Danny Boy in P6, Adams, Urkosh, Nordis and Klusser in the top 10.
It's a really tricky situation to be in because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You don't know what the best tyre strategy is. You don't know if the race will get heavy or stay like this. I had to spun out of turn A where Valtteri Bottas spun back in 2017 under the safety car. And once again, here comes Barry with the inside on German. Does he make it stick? Yes, he does. He puts himself into P3. Sonic Hawk has left the session, so thank you for joining us, mate. German's trying to come back, but there's not enough rooms there to go around the outside. So Barry Me is on the podium for the first time this season. Can he stay there? Will the rain get harder in the last few laps like it was in Hungary, where it took a bit of time to settle in? Both RBs are squabbling there with Melnus and Klusler, who was in a good place one time in the race, but unfortunately dropping backwards there on the hard compound tyres. Surprisingly, he didn't pit for brand new set mediums or softs, so he stayed out there on the hard compound tyres. Karsh, for the second time in a row, has retired in this race like he did in Australia and here in China. So here comes Langfeld now swooping up the inside, and that safety car's really helped him because he's able to change onto a brand new set of tyres and put on a new wing. He's still trying to go side by side with Oliver, but Oliver has cut him off and stays ahead. Good driving indeed for both of them.
Yep, Oliver is having a good race so far. He'll be happy with a top 10 today. Obviously, I think that's his aim throughout the whole season really. As long as he gets inside the top 10, he'll be happy. And yeah, he's doing a good job so far.
The low downforce setup is definitely not helping Azara, only on the straights there. So he's going to really struggle in the high-speed corners. Hurricane is all over the back of the Norwegian. We've seen plenty of battles between these two in the past. Miami was one of them, where they both made contact on the final lap, headed down into turn 19. Here we go. It's turn 14. We go side by side. Hazara is late to the break. So is Hurricane. Will he go deep into the corner? Can Hurricane do a switchback? He might do. Does he get the traction down? He can't. And Hazara stays ahead. But the rain, though, it does look a bit heavier now, but it's still, the intermediates are a better tyre still.
I think it's definitely going to be close for coming towards the end of this race. Hurricane and Hazara are still battling it out. Hurricane is now on the inside of turn 1. Hazara is going to be fourth around the outside. As long as he can keep playing side by side with him, he'll have the inside like he does right now. But then the Hurricane should get the better exit out of turn 3. They're still side by side. A Hurricane, as expected, gets the better exit now up to P1. Hazara might have a look down to turn number 6. Does he did have a look. Hurricane had to defend it a little bit, but he's all right. So yeah, this is an intense battle. So finally he goes down the inside of turn 7. Hurricane again has a better exit, but now it would be coming the outside for Hazara. Obviously, he's pretty much forced out there out of turn 8. So with these two battling, German has pretty much gained literally a second on these. The gap was about 5.3, now down to 4.3. But this is the effect of the top two battling, that they are going to obviously lose time to the guys behind.
Wow, incredible battling between the top two, side by side in the first 4 corners, and also turn 6 and turn 7 on the dry compound tyres on a greasy track. Incredible stuff indeed from both experienced Norwegian drivers. Got good respect for each other. Can they keep it towards the end? But German is definitely gaining. It could be coming towards intermediate territory.
Yeah,
Hazara is late to the brakes there, sliding through turn 14. So is Hurricane. They're both fighting for traction, both fighting for P1 there, and this could be a good one towards the end, because if German all of a sudden has the tyre advantage, he could gain back.
Yeah, Bear Remy definitely struggling now. He's losing time to German and Laser. I think the intermediates are now the better tyre at this stage of the race.
Could they be towards the end of the race? The gap is 3.6, so keep an eye on that. With 3 laps left to go, Hazara looking for different lines, looking to try and sneak one up the inside if he can. But here we are, then they're both struggling. You can see the massive wheel spin out of the corners. Oliver is ahead of Langfeld to put himself inside in 9th place there, but the gap is 3.3. Laser is closing in 2, but they don't want to battle too hard, these two, because they could be on a better tyre now towards the end and therefore catch up. The gap is 3 seconds now. Even German struggling on his tyres there on the intermediates coming out of turn 6. So these two have got to watch out, because the rain is impacting the circuit. Now the track is more wetter and greasier, and therefore the intermediates could be the better now towards the last few laps of this Grand Prix. And here we are out of turn 9 then, which is very critical to get right, because it's so difficult, because you're turning and accelerating at the same time. Easy to lose the back end of the car, especially for Hazara's sake, running a low downforce setup, which will help him on the straight. Then this long turn 13 corner, he can be very patient with the throttle, just feathering the throttle before he can get on it fully. Braking traction there. Hazara almost lost it out of turn 13. That was so close there. He touched the curb on the outside and almost dropped the back end of the car. But now, with the DRS enabled, can Hazara force one on the inside? Hurricane's moving too. As we go down into turn 14 then, will he outbrake himself again, or will he stay in P1 this time? He does go a bit deep. Here comes Hurricane there. They're both sliding to the corner, and Hurricane does not take the lead of the race. He stays behind Hazara. This is great scrapping there. Hazara almost lost it out of the final corner, fighting with the back end of the car. Hurricane with the DRS enabled again. It's the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix. Watch out for Gerben and Laser later on. Hurricane retakes the lead. It's turn 1 they go. This is fantastic between these two there. Despite
Laser going around the outside. Laser's going around the outside of German now to try and take that final podium position. Literally the same move that Hazara did to Hurricane. Obviously now German will have the better should get the better exit out of turn 3, but they're still going side by side. Down towards turn 4 and 5, German, as expected, gets the better exit, and he's still going to go defensive a little bit towards Laser, but with these two battling as well, they are going to lose time to the front two, which they don't really want if either of these two want to get a win today.
Yeah, especially I think it's a bit too late now for those two, so I think it's down to these two, Hazara versus Hurricane. We said it plenty of times in the past. They had a big scrap back at the Bahrain Grand Prix, literally on the final lap, but Hurricane won that Grand Prix because Hazara picked himself up a 3-second time penalty as he won the race on the track, but overall he lost it. He goes a bit turn 10 then, or turn 10 and turn 11, sorry, as we head through turn 13 we go. Look at that, he's losing time, ever so close there. Further backwards is German, 1.9 there. He's so close to losing the back of the car. He's 8 tenths behind. Will that be crucial there? He's got a better straight line speed than the Red Bull. That's his only advantage so far in this race. The better straight line speed with the DRS enabled as we make our way down towards turn 14. He gained about 6 tenths on the straight. Laser is fighting there. Up the inside he goes with German. This is a scrap for the podium. We've got a battle for the lead. We've got a battle for the final place on the podium. What will the top three be like on the final lap as we're headed towards the final lap now?
Yeah, this is a great battle. We've got two battles, obviously, like you said. Klusser gets a 3-second penalty, but he's down in P13 anyway. I think Laser will be able to get the... Yes, he'll be able to keep the position, but he goes a little bit wide, which may help German in a little bit. I don't think I think they have run out of time to catch the top two now for the win. But yeah, there's a great battle in between Harry Kane, Hazara, and then Laser and German. I think Hazara is going to try and go for a move. No, we don't.
It could be down to turn 14 where we saw both McLarens yesterday scrap it out for the lead of this race. The podium goes towards Laser. Can German get it back? They're both struggling in the high-speed corners, especially with Harry Kane there. Hazara's got to watch out for turn 12 and 13. That's where he outbroke himself. He can't afford to do that this time. Harry Kane is looking for his second win in a row. Hazara is looking for his second win of the season. So which one of these will get a big oversteer out of turn 10 there? So we make our way towards turn 11. The last time they both came together was here. They outbroke themselves, how Hazara did, but this time he doesn't, keeps it in the track and slows the car down. Now be patient on the throttle before we can get on throttle to break the traction. All the ERS will be used in defense and attack mode, and 1.1 is the gap. A bit too late for those two arrival, but here we go. This is the battle for the lead. All the battery is being used on the straight. Here comes Hazara as he makes his way down the inside into turn 14. Is this the moment he can win this race? And does he make the corner? Hazara is trying to go down the inside. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Hazara takes the lead into turn 14. Harry Kane is fighting with traction. And here we are now towards the final corner we go. Look at Hazara, almost lost it. Can Harry Kane get it back? He's going to be so close. Can he do it? Is he going to win? No, he's not. The gap is about 800 there. Hazara almost lost it on the line. And Harry Kane will be absolutely frustrated with that because I think he had a moment himself because he couldn't get the power quickly as he would have wanted to. So close between those two. I thought Harry Kane would have got him on the line, but he didn't. Wow, what a race again for Div 3, Div 2 and Div 1. The Chinese Grand Prix around here. Wow, the weather definitely spiced this one up today.
Wow, that was close. I think that was closer than yesterday's race. I think that was a move done on the final corner, but that was even closer than it was yesterday. Wow. Another close race for the win.
Again, almost a photo finish like it was between both McLarens there, like Adams and Keith yesterday. This time Harry Kane and Hazara. Hazara would have had his heart in his mouth after almost losing it in the final corner. Harry Kane, though, I thought he had the exit to get him, and he had the DRS too, but he just could not do it. And Hazara then remains in first place for his second win of the season as he after he picked it all back at the Belgian Grand Prix where he absolutely dominated. This time he had to work for it, and what a race between those three. The Laser on the podium again, so this is going to be his fourth podium of the season, and he's got more podiums this season than the whole of last season combined already.
Wow, that's a good achievement already by him then. Like I said, another keeping the trend going for Laser. Like I said, every single race he's finished so far, he's finished on the podium. Wow.
I'm commentating, but my heart was wasted too.
Top three as well, Jamie.
Yeah, appreciate you, Owen. Thank you for that. Wow. Adams finishes a P6 in the end, and that's a great result for him. Norris has the fast lap of the Grand Prix from P18 to P8. Great drive for Adams today. Started 12th place, went unknown throughout the whole race. I don't remember saying his name once in this Grand Prix, but yeah, a great drive for him. And German, a great job for him too. But the intermediates though, for those intermediates runners, the weather conditions came towards the last lap or two in the Grand Prix. They wished that the rain came early to make their strategy work, but the guys in the mediums made it work towards the end. And Harry Kane, second place, is in the party. All three of them are in the party now, and we can start from Laser. So, Laser, you may not be happy with this result, but it's your fourth podium this season, more podiums than you had than the last season combined. Mixed emotions, because did you think that the experience would be better towards the end and therefore you have the advantage?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the mediums would be done at the end, but they just hung on. I think in the sector 3 it was slightly too dry for the inters, but in sector 1 it was soaking. So,
I bet you were a bit nervous too because you had German all over your rear wing. He overtook you at one point, so I bet you were a bit nervous that you're going to lose a podium there too today.
yeah, I thought he was slightly quicker at the start of the stint, but then as the stint went on, I sort of got used to intermediate conditions. And yeah.
In that middle stint, before the safety car came out, you and Harry Kane had a big battle down into turn 14 because you overtook him, and then Harry Kane came back, and you went side by side together. Then you broke the DRS for Zara. So, did you think that moment in the race that you lost it because you weren't able to get back inside Harry Kane's DRS, Hazara's DRS, until that safety car came out?
Yeah, that was a bad call, I think, from both of us to battle so hard there. But I don't think it cost me the race because I chose the Inters anyway. But yeah, I mean, before the safety car, I think it was staying about 1.6 to Hazara when I was there, and then went to like 2 seconds. So, yeah.
And it's another third place finish for you today, so it's another great result, but not the one you wanted, because you took your first pole of the season. Explain to us how that feels, because I know, I said it last season, you've been struggling in qualifying a lot, but you really ramped it up this season, and you took your first pole.
Yeah, around here I had some really good pace. I thought I could have even gone quicker, to be honest. I didn't think that was a particularly smooth lap, but I think I was quite strong in pace all round around this track. But yeah.
Well, congratulations on third place today, mate. And I bet you wish that the intermediates, the rain would come harder because the drivers were just pulling away from you guys.
Well, yeah, sort of not. 'Cause I would think if it did come harder, I think I wouldn't be able to get past Gorman without the DRS. So.
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange race, wasn't it? Because the rain came, but it never really suited the intermediates until probably the last lap.
Yeah, right at the end, like last, I think 2-3 laps, I think we started catching quite quick. But then the first 2 or 3 laps, they were pulling away quite quick, so, yeah.
And how are you feeling for the Miami Grand Prix next week, Wilson? Laser, sorry.
I don't like the track, to be honest, but I'll see what I can do.
Oh, fair enough. Owen, you have any questions for Laser?
No, I haven't, but Laser, again, well done, mate. Every single race you have finished so far, you finished from a podium, so yeah, well done. So I'm sure if you finish the race next week, we'll see you again next week.
If I finish, cheers.
Yeah, not Saudi Arabia, because you retired that race, didn't you?
I don't want to remember that race.
And Silverstone got cancelled too, so yeah, that's a good start, Owen, because you mentioned it last week and it still continues.
Yeah, it still continues.
So we move on to second place, Harry Kane. Wow, you must talk us through your emotions, mate, because you saw Hazara drop it almost at the final corner. Did you think that was your chance to get him on the line, do you think?
To be honest, I was just so pissed that he got the overtake in the second to last corner. I almost lost it myself in the exit of both corners. But yeah, very good racing, very fun. A bit sad that I didn't get the win, but yeah, it was fair racing, and I don't think I had the best pace today.
I think you had good pace though, but saying that though, do you know last season, Harry, do you remember that it was wet and you took the intermediates over 20 laps, if I believe, and you almost got caught up by MDJ towards the end? What is it about this track when the rain comes and it takes such a long time for to get wet, and therefore the inters to come into a play? Because did this happen last season? I don't remember.
It didn't happen last season. It went dry again at the end.
Did it?
Yeah, I was on 95% inters and MDJ was closing on dries.
He took seconds out of you, didn't he, that race?
Yeah, 10 seconds last lap.
That's incredible. But yeah, it's a shame that you couldn't get your second consecutive win here in China, because it was a great race from you overall. And do you, like Laser said, you made an optimistic move down into turn 14. Instead of staying behind Laser, you went back up the inside. And when you two were side by side, that cost you the DRS there. Did you think that your race would have been over by then, because you were struggling to get back in DRS range of Hazara before the safety car came out?
No, because I think my moment would have come if it was going to be any wetter. I quite like the wet weather, and I was just thinking of on-track position before we had to pit. So it was a chance I took, and I got the position, but yeah, I lost Hazara.
What was your thoughts when that safety car came out? Were you thinking about at all going on the interiors because the rain was coming down heavily, or was it always the medium compound tyres for you?
No, it was a tipping point, really. I was like a second from where you press to drive into change tires. I switched over to the mediums. So I was really not sure. It worked out the first couple of laps, but the two last laps were very slippery, and I think the DRS shouldn't have been on that last straight.
You say that because you lost out on that straight, didn't you, Matthias? But yeah, second place is still a good result for you as well. And we move on to Miami next week. And also, Matthias, if you remember, you and Hazara made contact out there, didn't you? And that heavy breakers out of turn 17. So hopefully that will happen this time. But what's your expectations going to Miami next week?
I don't know. I haven't driven Miami so much on this game. I usually am okay around there. I did remind Hazara of the Miami race last season today, so I hope it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I hope it don't happen again, because I think you still finished second that day, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, Mo Expedition was on the podium with you guys as well, because he almost caught you up in the end. But congratulations, Hazara today, Hurricane, sorry. And yeah, good luck for the next race. I'm lucky to lose on that way because you were only about a few hundreds away from your second win in a row. So yeah, it's a shame to miss out like that, but there's still plenty of opportunity to go during this season. So hopefully you can continue good form. And what about Bearimi, your teammate? Because he has been struggling this season. Have you been given advice and tipping points?
Yeah, he has been struggling in the qualifying mainly. He has had good race pace. Today he just missed in the qualifying. He didn't get the lap he wanted. He would have been 10th maybe behind me and would have been P4. So yeah, it was just a bad qualifying. He has almost the same race pace as me this track. So. Hope he'll be better in the qualifying next time.
Oh, thank you very much, and I hope your teammate is also up there with you because you two really work well together. We've seen it last season too, so I really hope he gets up there with you guys. And good luck for next race, and I'll see you soon, Matthias.
Yeah.
We move on to our race winner, Hazara. Mate, your heart must have been in your mouth in the final corner because you almost dropped it and you almost gave the win towards Hurricane there. So talk us through what was going through your head at that time.
Hazara, you are not sharing your voice.
Thank you, Lagfell, for coming in and say that. You saved us.
Thanks, Langfeld. I don't even know how he got into the party, to be fair.
Yeah, we didn't invite him.
Me.
We didn't invite him.
I think
should be fine now, I think.
Yeah, continue, Hazara, sorry.
Yes, yeah, my bad for not sharing my voice. Anyway, I'll continue. Yeah, it was a good race. I enjoyed it. Good battle with Matthias, and yeah, just really pleased to win after the disconnect last week. So yeah, really good. A bit unfortunate with the safety car. I felt I had the race under control, but it was still. It made it better because we had a good battle at the end, and yeah, could have gone either way, I think.
were you running a low downforce setup? I noticed you straight line speed in qualifying, and also you were struggling on the brakes there. So was your setup more suited towards straight line speed?
Yes, it was fairly low wing compared to the other people I was talking with. And yeah, that gave me an advantage on the straights, but as it got wetter, I felt like the other people had better grip in the traction zones. Like Harry had a good grip going onto the long straight, and I had to really use my straight line speed to catch him back. So it made for an interesting race, I think.
And also, I want to talk to you about lap 1, turn 6. What happened between you and Orders? Did you outbrake yourself into turn 6 and went off the track? You both went off the track, I think, at that time.
Yes, what happened was I braked where I normally brake, like 100 meters, and yeah, I was just caught off guard by how early, or maybe not how early they brake, but how it kind of bottled up. So I went for the inside because I didn't want to hit him, and I got the car under control, and I was on the apex ahead, but I think he didn't see my arrow, so he just turned in, which I also understand because I came in a bit late, but I think I had the car under control. I was slightly ahead, so I don't think I will get a penalty for it, but I did come from a long way back, but it was not my intention to do so. Yeah, and obviously when he turned in and we made contact, I couldn't steer at all, so we just pushed each other wide from there.
Fair enough, mate. I was wondering what happened down there. And also with your ABS as well, did you have it fairly quite low because you were locking up the rear on quite a lot?
ABS, you mean brake bias?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like 55, 56. I turned it up to 56 in the race after like 10 laps or so because I felt like I was locking behind, but yeah, I didn't do any practice. I did like 5 laps yesterday, so on time trial, so I wasn't used to the setup and I wasn't used to the heavy fuel, so I was struggling in the first few laps, but then after a while I think I got the hang of it. So yeah, it's obviously helps.
And you and Laser overtake Romovaj in the championship as well, so I think you might move up into second place, or maybe first, if I figure out the points, which I can't do because I'm not really great at maths. But yeah, you're up to second or first in the championship ahead of Romovaj. And how do you feel for the Miami Grand Prix? Because we all know what happened last season between you and Harry Kane. Did you get a penalty for that as well?
No, I didn't, because he didn't report me. Probably if he had reported me, I probably would have gotten a penalty. So yeah, I was a bit lucky there. But
yeah,
I wasn't in the championship fight anyway, so I don't think he was too worried about it.
Well, he was the championship fight, but he needs all those points, so that was very generous of Matthias, like, reporting you.
Of course, I mean, he's a good guy, so I expect nothing less.
I want him as my teammate because he'll probably give me the wins.
No, and, we have good fights, but you know, these things happen sometimes.
Yeah, I know, because like you guys have always came close to track, and you've always given each other the respect and room. Other than Miami, I can't really think when you and Harry have made contact anywhere else, because you guys are great racers, you're experienced as well, got good sportsmanship between you two. You're both generally good, clean racers, and really hope to see that way for the remainder of the season, because you're involved in this championship battle now. You're no longer a reserve driver, so I think your approach this season is going to change compared to last, because more pressure could be put on you, whereas last season you could just turn up and race and that's it, no consequences in terms of championship points. But this season you got a lot on the line, do you think?
Yeah, kinda, but I'm not really taking it more. I'm actually taking it less serious than I was last season, because I've barely played the game other than my races I do. So yeah, but when you don't practice, you also have no pressure to perform, so you just show up and you do the best you can.
Well, thank you very much, Hazara. Owen, you any questions to ask for him?
No, Again, just a very good race for you, Hazara. More points for the combined standards for Aston Martin, so good job there. Yeah, no, good job again. Second win of the season. Yeah, just keep it up, I guess.
Yeah, thanks a lot, mate. Thanks.
So we round off then round 6 here. It is not round 7 because we missed Silverstone. Round 6 at the Chinese Grand Prix. Owen, thank you very much for commentating with me again, as always.
Yeah, no, as always, be here next week, of course. Yeah, nice to be commentating with you again.
So we move on to the Miami Grand Prix for Div 3, Div 2 and Div 1, all at the same time at 7:30. Join us back for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday for more racing action here. And it should be a good one in Miami because it usually is with the overtaking, with the DRS, and probably the safety cars too. And we'll see you all later next week.